Good day, class, and welcome to our English class. In our last class, we looked at the noun and we said the noun is used in a sentence to name a person: Mary, John, Peter, Susan; to name a place: Yaoundé, Bamenda; to name a thing: a table, a chair, a spoon, a cup; to name an idea: freedom, honesty, knowledge; to name conditions and quality. And so, we looked at how we can use uncountable nouns with the definite article "the." And we said there are two classes of article: the definite and the indefinite. And that the definite class of article is made up of "the", and it is definite because we have heard of it before, we know of it, we are aware of it. And the indefinite article, in which we have a and an, is indefinite because it is new, we have not heard of it, it is our first time of hearing of it. And so we looked at how the definite article can be used with uncountable nouns, and we gave some examples. And so in our class of today, we are going to continue in the line of nouns, but today we are going to be looking at uncountable nouns without "the". Uncountable nouns without the definite article "the". Since we already know these languages of definite and indefinite, so now we need to speak like big students. Uncountable nouns without the definite article "the". Can you repeat this? Okay. We have on the screen rice. Can you count this? If you are asked to count the grains of rice, do you think you're going to finish that in a day? Definitely not. So it's now rice. Is it a countable or an uncountable noun? We have here milk. If you are asked to count the milk in this glass, can you count it? So, how can we classify it? Is it a countable or an uncountable noun? And so, some concrete nouns, like bread, why are they first of all called concrete? Concrete nouns are nouns that we can feel it, that can be touched. Are you sitting on a chair? If you can touch that chair and feel it, if it is hard or soft, know that is a concrete noun. And so here we have concrete nouns like bread. How many loaves can you see here? So do we say we can find 2 breads? Or what can we say? We're going to discover this in this lesson. We have rice. We can touch rice. So that is why it is referred to as a concrete noun. We equally have salt. We can touch it. That is why it is referred to as a concrete noun, but it is uncountable. We equally have warmth. When you're feeling cold and you put on your pullover, you feel warmth. And we have some abstract nouns, like freedom. Why is it called abstract nouns in the first place? It means it cannot be touched. We can't touch it. So that is why this group of nouns is referred to as abstract nouns. We have freedom. Can you touch freedom? When you are on holidays, you have some freedom. Can you touch that freedom that you're feeling? No. We equally have honesty. You know what honesty is? It means you are truthful. That is honesty. It is an abstract noun. We have knowledge. The knowledge that you're acquiring now is abstract because you can't touch it, you can't open your head to be removing it. No. And we have shyness. You know, when you're shy in class, that aspect of you being shy is what is referred to as an abstract noun. And so, what is going to happen to all these nouns that we've seen? Okay, how can they be used? These nouns that we've just seen, we have shyness, knowledge, freedom, honesty, rice, bread. They can only be used in the plural by associating or putting them together with countable nouns that take the plural form. These nouns, bread, rice, salt, milk, can only be used in the plural by associating or putting them together with countable nouns that take the plural form. And so, they cannot be used in the plural individually. They can only be used in the plural by associating or putting them together with countable nouns that take the plural form. And so that is why when we saw the bread, I asked the question, can you say 2 breads? Or what is the correct answer? And I told you we are going to be discovering that in the class of today. And so we can only associate bread, or bread can only be used in the plural form by associating or putting it together with countable nouns that take the plural form. Okay, let's look at this example. We have 2 loaves of bread. We say 2 loaves of bread. As you can see on your screens, we have some good bread, really good. But how do we say it? We say 2 loaves of bread. But most of the times we say 3 breads or 2 breads. It's funny, isn't it? No, we don't say 2 breads or 3 breads. We say 2 loaves of bread. So we see that bread, which is a noun, can only be used in the plural by putting it together or by associating it with countable nouns that take plural forms. Loaves can be counted. Had it been we had just 1 loaf of bread here, we would have said one loaf of bread. But now that we have two, we can only say 2 loaves of bread. And so we cannot say 2 breads. That is absolutely wrong. We can only say 2 loaves of bread, or 3 loaves of bread, 4 loaves of bread, 5 loaves of bread. You can name the rest. But never you say 2 breads. Okay, let's go to the next. We have 4 packets of rice. 4 packets of rice. We don't say 4 rice or 4 rices. No. Since we can count the packets, we can only say 4 packets of rice. We are not counting by the rice in the packets. We are counting by the packets. And so that is why we can only say 4 packets of rice and not 4 rice or 4 rices. And if your mom says, Annabelle, please get me 2 cups of rice. You definitely measure the rice and bring it to her. And so, we will not say, can you bring me 2 rice? If she asks you to bring 2 rice, it therefore means you're going to bring 2 grains of rice. Is that not so? No, we can't count rice. We can only count rice in packets, in bags, in cups. That is how we can count it. And so the next is 2 glasses of milk. We can only say 2 glasses of milk and not a milk. Can you bring 2 glasses of milk, please? We can't say 2 milk or a milk. And to the next, we can only say a bucket of milk and not a milk, because we can count by the bucket and not the milk in the bucket. That is why we can only say a bucket of milk and not a milk. Can I have a tin of milk, please? You are referring to 1 tin of milk. Can I have 2 tins of milk, please? So you see the way we can use milk which is uncountable. We can only use it by associating it to countable nouns, which take the plural form. Since we can count tins, that is why we can say tins of milk. And so, we can only use uncountable nouns like rice, salt, bread, by associating them with countable nouns, which take the plural form. Let's look at the last example. It says, 4 types of freedom. 4 types of freedom, and not 4 freedom or 4 freedoms. And so we can only say types of freedom, 4 types of freedom, and not 4 freedom or whatever. And so in all these examples that we've seen, we can say that in these examples, what we count are the loaves of bread, the packets of rice, the buckets, the types, and not the bread. We count the loaves and not the bread. We count the packets of rice and not the rice. We count the buckets of milk and not the milk. And we can only count the types of freedom and not the freedom. In the class of today, we've seen how we can use uncountable nouns without they, and that we can only use uncountable nouns without the definite article they by associating it or by putting it together with countable nouns that take the plural form. I hope you can now arrange the way you use the uncountable nouns. And so in our next class, we're going to be looking at word building with suffixes. We're going to move away from nouns, from the article, to word building. How can we improve our vocabulary? How can we increase it? So we're going to be looking at word building with suffixes. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.